They said that they were going to sue us for $5 million each if we didn't hand them the rights to Kimoji and for Kim to be able to do her own comment control project.
She wanted you to hand her over both businesses that you put so much work and money into?
Legally, that's all they needed, they thought. She's done that before.
What?
Mm-hmm. Nobody can talk about it, though, because they're bound by confidentiality agreements.
It's no secret that the Kardashians have been accused of ripping off independent fashion designers for years, but now it seems that they've moved on to the tech industry and added a vengeful man to their list of victims. Kim Kardashian ruined my life.com. That is a sign that has gone viral on TikTok, and you can pretty much see it on some streets in LA. And the person behind the sign is a former tech entrepreneur, David Liebenson. But who is this guy? Who is David Liebenson? Well, according to the man himself, he's one of the original masterminds behind Kimoji. You know, Kim Kardashian's wildly popular app filled with her own personal gifs and emojis? Back in late 2015, Kim announced the launch of Kimoji, and it quickly shot to the top of the paid apps list on iTunes. The app included over 250 emoticons inspired by Kim. You can send them to your friends or post them on social media. The app was so successful that on its first day, the $1.99 app was getting downloaded at a rate of 9,000 times per second. At one point, Kimoji was reportedly making the Kardashians a staggering 1 million per minute. The success was so great that Kanye wrote a song about it. While everyone praised Kim as a brilliant entrepreneur that took advantage of the modern tech era, a new development suggests that she may have taken advantage of much more than that. David Liebenson recently came out to talk about the genesis of the Kimoji app and how he, along with some associates, created the personalized emoji app, but were tricked out of their creation by Kim, Kris, and the Kardashians' legal team. Now homeless and living in his car, Liebenson says that he has nothing to lose as he tells his side of the story on his website, KimKardashianRuinedMyLife.com. This website has a comprehensive account of how the whole situation went down from Liebenson's perspective, with some evidence to also support his claims. On the site's homepage, the first thing you'll see is, Kim K ruined my life just so she could have her face and butt as an emoji. I have nothing to lose anymore. I'm laying out all the facts. Kim Kardashian committed fraud and stole my Kimoji trademark. Surely this sounds like the words of a hurt man that wants to get what is due to him. And before we get into David's side of the story, let's take a look at the first time Liebenson came after the Kardashian. David Liebenson was one of the founders of App Social, and he sued Kim Kardashian for a shocking $100 million back in 2019 with the claim that the reality star breached their partnership agreement, something that he's understandably not happy about. According to court documents, Liebenson, along with Narayan Shankar and Daniel Rice, founded a software company back in 2014 called App Social. They created apps for social media users, including the popular Censorgram, which was designed to protect users' accounts from spammers, trolls, and bullies on Instagram. And it looked like their hard work had paid off when Kim Kardashian herself took notice. Kim's social media assistant and best friend, Jonathan Cheban, reached out to App Social via Instagram, expressing Kim's interest in the product and wanting to invest. After some negotiations, App Social and Kardashian entered into a 60-40 partnership agreement for Censorgram. It sounded like a done deal until Kim learned about a pet project of the company called Kimoji. It turns out that App Social had already created Kimojis prior to this agreement, and Kim loved the idea. According to court documents, Kim insisted on filing the trademark for Kimojis herself to save costs and verbally promised to promote the concept together. However, things took a turn when Kim filed the Kimoji trademark application under her corporation Kim's a Princess Inc. as the sole owner in August 2014. Now, why would Kim make a patent for an app her company didn't create? It sounds like fishy business to me. According to Liebenson, Kim called Shankar and accused him of releasing her personal information about her use for Censorgram and sharing a screenshot of that information all over Chicago. As a result, App Social lost everything it worked so hard to create. And while Kim went on to make millions of dollars on both apps, the App Social founders, including Liebenson, were left with nothing. Now, back to Liebenson's viral site, KimKardashianRuinedMyLife.com. On the first page, he talks about how the initial meeting went well in more detail. Kim Kardashian and the App Social's battle over the intellectual property of Censorgram and Kimoji all started when the reality star's attorneys sent a stern warning to the founders, threatening them to release the rights of Censorgram and Kimoji or face a jaw-dropping $5 million lawsuit for each of the three founders. Apparently, Kim came to this decision after one of the App Social members spilled the beans on Kim's involvement in the deal, and that just didn't sit well with her legal team. Feeling the pressure of potentially losing everything, App Social's Liebenson made the difficult decision to comply with Kim's demands. However, things took a shocking turn when he realized that he had been tricked. The understandably upset Liebenson filed a lawsuit in 2019, but Kim wasn't having any of it. In a bold move, she hit him with a countersuit for a staggering $400,000 in legal fees and arbitration, an amount he could not afford. Eventually, Liebenson's attorney advised him to back down, leading to the case being closed. Liebenson wrote, "I lost all the money I invested in the patent and wasted hundreds of thousands on legal fees. The situation leveled me financially and I was never able to get back on the trajectory I was on prior to dealing with Kim and Chris. I'm currently sacrificing a comfortable living situation to sleep in my car while working 3 jobs to spread my message. I've never stopped thinking about what I could do to hold them accountable and get my life back. I've decided it's time for me to finally share this story that's been eating me alive for years and hopefully find a light at the end of the tunnel." Now, Liebenson is ready to come after the Kardashians with full force and hopefully with the support of people that have also been duped by this celebrity family. But Liebenson's story doesn't end there. He has another page on his site dedicated to how the whole situation went down from his perspective, with evidence showing dealings with the Kardashians. It seemed like the man has tired of how much suffering he endured since his meeting with the Kardashians, and he had to share his experience with the world. He writes, "I'm building this site on my iPhone and trying to gain momentum for this in my spare time while working 2 jobs and camping in my car. Please share. There are a few exhibits of evidence I'll add a whole section to the site for. Emails, texts, screenshots, original art for Kimojis, a recording, and over 20 individuals that have involvement and can be witnesses." As part of his evidence, Liebenson added a not-so-visible image of his conversation with Kim's friend Jonathan Cheban. In the pic, the two discussed setting up a meeting with Kim and how they were going to make money from Censorgram together. At that point, it is understandable that David was ecstatic over the news, but things would soon turn sour for the entrepreneur. "My family and I are on cloud 9 with the thought of our new agreement with Kim and all the successes we would have together. Then, out of the blue, Kim contacts us and asks if we trademarked Kimoji, and everything was good, but they would go ahead and do that to be helpful. Literally 5 minutes later, Kim calls us and is shocked, asking, 'Who's Ryan?' and was all distraught. Apparently, without my knowledge, one of our partners took a picture of some words on a page that Kim used in our Censorgram app. No user handle or private info, just a little clip of a screenshot to brag privately between him and a friend. Well, this friend was jealous and actually had a friend in Chicago that knew someone in Kim and Kanye's world. Narayan's friend Alice Gorodetsky is friends with Gene Brusilovsky, and he's close to Jonathan Cheban, who is obviously friends with Kim. They intentionally sent the screenshot in hopes it would interfere, and it did. Gene admitted to this at a party in Chicago and how it was done intentionally to hurt Narayan's potential and disrupt the partnership with Kim Kardashian. Kim backed out and threatened to sue us for $5 million if we didn't hand over Kimoji rights and give her the ability to do her own comment control app, which blocked our own patent hopes. The Kimoji trademark was filed by Kim's company 5 minutes after her staged phone call. He also talks about how he lost Censorgram to Kim Kardashian and Instagram. She also interfered with a patent I had filed for a process that is now used by Instagram to automatically remove comments on social media. Kim Kardashian never expressed any remorse or even explained her part in this interference. She also never explained why she discussed our IP with Kevin Systrom, the former CEO of Instagram, without our permission after her and her team signed our NDA to get our patent file. At that time, Instagram had no intention of using automated comment control. However, less than 18 months after Kim Kardashian's interference, our process was installed into Instagram settings. To this day, my partners and I have never received an explanation nor compensation. This is not the first time Kim and her team has been accused of stealing from creators and other small business owners. Sadly, the way the Kardashians operate their business is by enforcing provisions in their contracts, so if there is a dispute, it is handled in a private arbitration setting to avoid their shady practices being leaked out to the public. In an interview with Kanyesposts on YouTube, David Liebenson talks more about the alleged fraud he was a victim of.
Lawyers threatened you and your 2 other business partners that they were going to sue all of you for $5 million each.
Yep.
And at the time, you were a father, so I'm sure that scared you.
Oh yeah, we had a home. I was doing fairly well. I was a self-made entrepreneur, so I was scared. I literally was shaking. The whole thing just threw me into a depression.
Why didn't you guys fight back? Like, how come no one stepped in?
We thought we were wrong. I mean, at that time, we had thought because of the threatening letter and because of what was done, we didn't really know the full details and the scandalous things that have happened to, none of that really came out in detail till later.
Did you try to work it out with Kim or Chris?
The contact was just done after that.
Do you think this was all Kim, or do you feel like Chris was the puppeteer behind the scenes?
I think it's all comes from Chris.
The story of the determined entrepreneur versus a millionaire family with all the power is common in recent history. In this case, Liebenson found himself in the ring with the bigwigs, and unfortunately for him, he was no match for the money and power the Kardashians possess. The entrepreneurs were shaking in their boots at the thought of going up against the wealthy family in court, and their attorney advised them to back down. It is easy to see why they complied with Kim's ludicrous demands to sign an NDA and drop the matter entirely. Everyone except for Liebenson had a gut feeling that it wasn't right to let go of everything he worked so hard for and refused to sign an NDA like his partners did. That one decision to fight for his hard work led to a series of misfortunes on the poor man. David Liebenson lost everything he had built, and his financial troubles even led to a painful divorce. While all of Liebenson's accounts are alleged, only time will tell if the Kardashian family will speak up against his claims. If they don't, the ton of support the man gets from his campaign should be enough to fund a lawsuit against the powerful celebrity family. David Liebenson's Kimoji and Censorgram accusations just added to the Kardashians' family's streak of allegedly stealing ideas from small business owners. This isn't the first time the Kardashians have been accused of such behavior, and it remains to be seen whether they'll take ownership of their actions or continue to sweep them under the rug. Do you believe they should be held accountable for their actions? Leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts.